Brambro back with Grand Tactician Civil War. Stephen Hurlbut's 8th Corps advances into East Tennessee, intent on capturing Knoxville, along with the Confederacy's only iron mine. A Confederate force identical in size and composition defends the city. It's the most equally matched battle yet seen in this war, and 8th Corps is obliged to attack. Who prevails? Let's find out. Okay, a quick snapshot of the theater situations. I got through that at the beginning of every episode because I can't assume that everyone saw the last episode. If you're watching these episodes every day, this is not going to be a lot of new information. But for someone who may not have seen earlier episodes, just trying to orient. In the east, we still have this small siege of Fort Hatteras going on. I don't think it's going to go in our favor. Dury's Zouaves are down to panicked morale, even though there's hardly any garrison here. Strangely enough, if you hover over this tooltip at the top of the screen, it says Fort Hatteras, 100% chance of victory. The bar down at the bottom of the siege window here says something almost exactly the opposite. Well, however it turns out is however it will turn out. I guess there is some possibility that Banks might actually disintegrate. I wonder if I shouldn't retreat him instead. Nope, I'm not going to retreat from one dude. It was 0 dudes. Now they're back to 1 dude. Up here in Virginia, still building our forts. 10th Corps is up to yellow readiness. Cav still hanging out here in scouting mode, keeping an eye on everything. As soon as these forts are done, I think we need to get the Army of the Potomac moving south. Try to push some of these Confederate armies back. Possibly have a try at Richmond this summer, if at all possible. Over here, East Tennessee, 9th Corps marching down on Knoxville. They do have sight of the Army of West Tennessee, which has grown a little larger, projected to reach 13,000, currently 9,500. Hurlbut has about 13,000 men. I thought I had given the Army Commander, Cadwallader, an order to move with him. I guess I didn't, so he's lagging behind. Still within his command radius, though, so if there is a battle, and I think there probably will be, I think Cadwallader will still... Well, maybe not, because his command radius is blocked by the mountains. So, Hurlbut might have to fight that on his own. Grant's army a little bit separated here. Hooker's Corps remains in Nashville. There's several Hungry Wolves Confederate forces outside the city. However, Sherman's Corps is besieging Fort Donelson, and that appears to be in our favor. He's actually assaulting Fort Donelson. This would have been the job of McClellan's Army of the Mississippi, but I've got them uncommitted because there's several Confederate armies up here to the northwest. So I'm leaving these guys where they can move, not be involved in a siege if necessary. I thought these guys might be moving on Cairo, but they didn't come up. They didn't come up this way. They came up the railroad and then turned and came back down this road toward Fort Hyman. In the Trans-Mississippi, toward the end of the last episode, had a battle where a couple of smaller Confederate armies were thrown back after their attack on Carrollton. Lyon's Army of the Missouri's got a couple more infantry brigades coming to them. Once he receives those, we'll start moving forward again and have another crack at Fort Smith. We do not have any, well, I don't know if that's a true statement. How long do we have left on the Tariff Act? Only 5 days. Okay. As soon as Tariff Act is done, I am thinking another level in breadbasket and industrialization. I think we're probably a little bit behind on industrialization policies for a Union playthrough. Probably go with this next, and I'd like to have some more breadbasket as well. And the reason for those is to increase the amount of agricultural and industrial subsidies, which I haven't really been able to do that much with so far in this campaign, considering that we're into May 1862. I've got some more project levels in these two categories. Industry subsidy, infrastructure reform, and agricultural subsidization projects. I've got a level in each, but at this point in the campaign, I feel like I should have a little bit more. So I'm going for these policies to open up that subsidy spigot a little bit, which is going to cost money. It's going to put pressure on our governmental budget, which is why I'm working on the Tariff Act now. Right, let's get time rolling. Let's keep an eye on this right here. I think we're about to have a battle right here at Knoxville. And yes, we are. Okay, yeah, pretty evenly matched in all three categories. A brigade of cav against probably a smaller brigade of cav, roughly the same amount of infantry, and pretty close in guns. It's going to be I think this is going to be the first combat for the brigades in Hurlbut's Corps. I think. We'll see when we get in there. But I think the same is going to be true for Ransom's guys as well. I don't believe we have fought the Army of West Tennessee before, and I think these are recently recruited units. The last time we saw the Army of West Tennessee, it was smaller. Let's hop in. Pine Mountain map, which I have fought on before, but it's been a while. Don't fight in this part of Tennessee that often. It is an attacking situation. Here is the objective. Here's our deployment zone. These troops have fought before. These must be older brigades from McClellan's original Appalachian Corps, but they don't have the first combat debuff, and all four infantry brigades have the Ace of Spades perk for increased cover. So I think my idea is I'm going to go ahead and march down this road toward the objective. And when we get over in this area, and I'll send the cav ahead to kind of get an idea of where their position is. But unless it... my idea is just kind of array in here and make a very slow advance, you know, to account for cohesion and fatigue, but let's use this forest cover in our attack so our guys get benefit from that, and then I'll try to get the artillery maybe over here on the flank, kind of firing in this direction over this open ground. We'll see how that works out. This is about as evenly matched a battle as we've had in this campaign. The two forces are not only the same size in aggregate troop count, but it's the same number of infantry brigades, the same number of cav brigades, and the same number of artillery. 4 infantry, 1 cav, 2 RD battalions in each force. And so I got a little bit of marching and scouting to do. 0600 on day 2. I hadn't noticed earlier. We started the battle right at the tail end of the day, and the situation has changed. here's the objective. Here's the rebels. The defensive situation or position they set up is quite nice up here. There's a long slope. The problem is it's just not defending the objective point. So, new plan. Hurlbut's going to bring his infantry up, and we're going to set up right in the edge of these woods so we have open ground in front of us. Maybe I can get the artillery right here in the edge of the woods where they've got a field of fire, and as soon as we convert this objective and turn this into a defensive battle, we've already got a minor victory. The onus will be on the AI to do something about it, and they'll have to come out of their works. It's not the best defensive position in the world, right? The slope runs up toward them, so we're basically kind of down here at the bottom of this hill. But I think that's a much better situation than coming up here and trying to attack their position when we don't have to now. So that's the new plan. Yeah, so we basically got a standoff here. He's in his breastworks up here. I'm in my breastworks in the edge of the woods right down here. Neither side has any reason to move. The difference is I've got a minor victory right now, and I am holding the objective. So, yeah, I'll sit here for 8 days if I have to. At the end, he'll have to retreat, and we will begin capturing Knoxville. So that's my plan. I'm only going to come back if they decide to attack, which I don't know if they will. There is some desultory artillery fire going on up here. He's wasting ammo on my skirms. They're laying down. They're taking extremely few casualties, so there's really not anything. Oh, firing at these guys too. I've got the brigades in the breastworks all laying down as well. There are a few losses here and there. That was basically from overnight attrition. And the Cav is building breastworks over here mainly just for perk slot. Does he have it yet? He does. Okay, he doesn't need to build breastworks anymore. We're going with mounted rifles. It's kind of my Cav perk for this campaign. Okay, it's the morning of day 3. We did just sit there all day on day 2. However, this morning he is coming out of his breastworks and it looks like he's trying to get around my right flank. He's marching down through this way. I'm pulling Schleich out of this position to here, and then I'm going to march him forward right about this area. I'm also moving the cav up to keep sight on them. It's foggy weather. I'm moving the artillery right over to about here as well, since no point moving them over this way. Okay, we've got just enough skirmisher engagement here that it's kind of stopped their flanking movement. They're kind of facing us now. They are right on our flank. It's slow for Schleich to get his brigades through this terrain, but he is slowly coming up. They are going to have some fatigue and cohesion issues when they get over here. Taylor's rotated his brigade. He's in cover. Let's see here. Okay, now they're exposing their artillery to our skirms. Got some more skirms coming up. Trying to find their other... Oh, there's their other artillery. We've also got the cav up here on a flanking position. He doesn't need his scouts anymore. Let's get him down about like this. Okay, that artillery is wavering. Let's get these skirmishers to fire on this artillery as well. Let's get that arty out of there. I'm trying to move my arty up to where they've got a shot. They haven't really managed that yet. They're getting there. Skirm's getting a little toasty here. I'm going to keep the fire up. Try to get this artillery route. There they go. Alright, let's go ahead and pull those skirms in. Okay, we've got our wires firing now. Excellent. Like still slowly moving up. McCook is kind of becoming a default rear reserve brigade right now. Taylor's had to rotate out of his breastwork, but he still has forest cover. Okay, detachment coming over here to try to get these guns. I'm going to go ahead and rotate McCook here. And then bring him up behind Taylor as a reserve. I want to put him over here on his flank because he'll be out here in the open ground. We'll just have a 3-brigade front right through here. Eventually, yeah, Totten's guys are very tired. Best's brigade, not as bad. Tiring, but not as bad as Totten's. Okay, this detachment wavering now. And they're trying to counter battery. With some success. Let's have Best put out some skirmishers. About like so. Same with Totten. Okay, that's another full battalion there. Need to get these skirmishers working on him as soon as they get pushed out here. One of these brigades, I can't remember which one. These guys. These guys have plains rifles. 400-yard range, but very good accuracy. A little bit slower firing. Yeah, McCook is definitely having the better of this exchange with Wise. 27th Battalion, Delaware Artillery. And the 26th is New Hampshire. Okay, this battalion is wavering. Cook's battalion has regained some morale, still wavering but not fully routed. They're coming back. Good luck getting to these guns though. That ain't happening. Okay, we need these skirms to hold for a little while. Totten's brigade disrupted and exhausted, so he needs some time to recover. Best is in better condition. Does have regular training, so that should, I think that should help him recover a little bit faster. Okay, that artillery has been seen off. No doubt they'll probably try to put a detachment out here to recover those guns. Okay, let's pull those skirmishers in for ammo. Meanwhile, we've got our cav kind of waiting up here for the opportunity to do something productive. He already has. Did a nice job scouting. Okay, they are out of artillery. Don't know if that means I want to advance though. I still have all the same advantages I had before. I've got the objective. I've got a decent defensive position in cover. The move is up to Johnny Reb. Okay, Johnny Reb has decided it's time to make his attack. His brigades are coming forward into our position here in these woods. Skirmishers initially engaging, but that won't last for long. Totten has pretty much recovered his fatigue and cohesion. We're going to let the skirmishers soften them up as much as they can. And we're about to get... I had stopped the artillery firing for a little bit because they were just wasting ammos on the skirmisher, but they're about to get the fire at will order again. Get the cav down here by the arty. And let's push McCook over this way. Come on, Cav, get down here. Did we just lose? There he is. I thought the brigade disappeared. These are various skirm detachments trying to recover some of their guns. 800 to 300. Cook's taking forever to get turned around to move over here, and you know, the fact that he's sitting right on a breastwork might have something to do with that. I'm not sure. Okay, that brigade has been sent packing. Actually, nope. I was about to pull those skirms down. Let's have them fire at these guys over here. Let's advance best. About to here. Got the calf here just trying to keep the artillery safe. I'm going to dismount them. They're not engaged yet. I'm going to put them in loose order in case they have to engage this brigade here. Okay, McCook's getting into position now. Yeah, I think we're fine. I don't think McCook's going to have forest cover here, though. Let's rotate Totten just a little bit here. There we go. Another wavering infantry brigade here, Cockrell. Okay, now McCook is taking this brigade under fire. Let's push this cab in on him. It's got Hall carbines, which is pretty well ranged. I think they're withdrawing. Let's pursue. Okay, let's mount the calf back up. Well, 1400 to 300. Yep, retreating. Okay, I think Hurlbut has done a fine job forcing the Rebs back from Knoxville. Held that defensive position. There we go. All right. Lost all of his guns, 1,600 casualties total. We did lose a gun somehow. That might have been because of attrition. I don't know if our artillery may have taken a little account of battery. Maybe. But 300 losses overall. Almost 200 more house guests headed to Camp Chase. Some small arms, 19 artillery. Right. Nobody picked up any fame. Okay, so as soon as... So this is going to go a couple days. That was day 3 of the battle. But as soon as the Army of West Tennessee retreats and we're free to move into Knoxville, we go. Okay, these two Confederate armies retreating from Carrollton. Have these guys gotten their new brigades yet? Not quite. One day. Siege continuing here. Looks like Polk's command has moved up a little bit. Okay, Missouri State Guard hasn't been sighted around. I have a sneaky suspicion Missouri State Guard is back on its way to the Trans-Mississippi. Have we seen them? No, it's just what it smells like. Let's have the Cavs scout over this way. Okay, already capturing Knoxville. Well, that Army of West Tennessee bugged out of there pretty fast. Faster than I thought they would. Alright, as long as we are here in Knoxville capturing, let's swap over to defensive stance. Supply situation still good, 100% flow. Is there anything persnickety happening here? No, yes. What have we here? We have a siege situation. Army of the Northwest besieging 2nd Corps. Right, so this is in our favor. However, I don't want to give the rest of these rebel armies time to come up here and join the siege, as the Army of the Shenandoah is about to do. So let's send the Army of the Northwest away first. And then Army of the Shenandoah will be up here without immediate support. So Sidney Johnston immediately retreated during the deployment phase. I didn't even have to form the troops. And so zero morale or military experience. However, that army should be retreating, and even though there was no combat, we captured 700 more folks to go populate the growing metropolis of Camp Chase in Ohio. Meanwhile, though, the Army of the Shenandoah is on the railroad. I'm kind of glad that there wasn't a battle there because I think George Thomas is going to need all of his ammo for the Army of the Shenandoah coming forward. I don't think any of these armies back here are going to be in reinforcement range, whereas Keyes and McDowell's certainly will be. McDowell's got a little bit of that unhappy nonsense going on. 4 brigades unhappy with their commanders, and there's not much to be done about it. I've talked about this multiple times, but it has been a while. Once these units get several stars on them of experience, no officer in the Army will make them happy. You know, the guy needs 5 stars of fame and 5 stars in leadership to satisfy a 5-star brigade, which there are usually a couple officers like that, but you know what? They're not down in brigade command, right? They're leading corps and armies. So it's kind of, you know, it's an interesting mechanic and somewhat reasonable in concept, but the way that it's implemented is just a little silly. And if you look at that unhappy modifier there, minus 0.9%, whereas they're getting much better buffs from being in range of the Army commander, from the telegraph, from medical treatment. As a matter of fact, they're a lot more pissed off about the weather than they are about their commanders. So, whatever. Okay, let's just have a look here at, oh, McDowell has picked up another perk though. Let's see. I think he still needs his flying column. Yeah. Let's check some of these others for perks. Thomas almost has his 3rd perk unlocked. Frankly, I don't know what it's going to be. We've already got pontoon, right, at the Army level. Maybe limelights? We'll have a look when we get there. Key's still working on his 1st slot. Hancock, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it. It was a couple episodes ago. Patterson initially commanded 10th Corps. Winfield Scott Hancock. I bumped him up and now commands this corps. He's at yellow readiness. Let's go ahead and get him across the river. Is there any discernible change here at all? No. It's even more, actually, yes. It's even more in the Confederate advantage than it was before, and this brigade is now formally broken. One dude. Was 0 dudes. And this garrison has been broken, like, I don't know, for 3 episodes or something. I'm going to go ahead and... No. They're going to wind up retreating anyway, so I don't think we're really saving anything by ordering a retreat now. So I may as well just have him eke just a little bit more XP toward this slot once he retreats. If he can, he might disintegrate. That would suck. And maybe I'll get him some artillery. Reform him up. You know what? Let's try this. Let's just see. Do I have any forces at Eastern Department? Yes, I do. The question is, will they, and I probably should have done this before, if I transfer them to the Hatteras expedition, well, A, will they make it in time? B, if they don't, if they're in transit, and if Hatteras expedition disintegrates, will these units in transfer disintegrate with it? I'd much rather lose one brigade that has kind of a crappy perk that I don't use in my playstyle anyway, than lose another, then lose 2 brigades and 2 artillery battalions. I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk it. I'm kind of interested to know how that would work, but I don't know if I want to pay 2 brigades and 2 artillery battalions to find out the answer to that question. If someone knows the answer to that from their own past campaigns, drop a comment. I'd like to know. I'm not going to run that experiment just now. Let's roll time again. Nope, we got something else going on here. All right. Yeah, and there comes the Army of the Shenandoah. We got 28,000. Well, no, we got more than that. We got over 40,000 rebels, because there's some cav, too, a lot of cav, against basically the entire Army of the Potomac. So we've got about 75-ish thousand men, a little more than that, over 300 guns against 44,100 guns. I think that bodes well for us. However, I think that's enough of a force that the rebels are probably going to fight and might put up a pretty good fight. And I think that will have to wait for the next episode. If you like what we're doing with the channel, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. If you haven't seen any of the other episodes, or not all of the other episodes in this series, I'm linking the playlist here. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate it.